Hi guys, it's G with Aroma G's Botanica, and I thought it is the perfect time to talk about wintertime witchcraft. What are some things we can do when it's getting really cold and you're stuck in the house? Or maybe some of you like to go out. There are some things you can do outside in the wintertime, but it's a perfect time to talk about this because Nashville is getting ready to get hit with a snowstorm. Today's Thursday. The store will probably be closed tomorrow because we're getting 3 to 5 inches and it's so cold. I think last night was 16 degrees. Um, the snow's not going to go anywhere. So I thought perfect time to do wintertime witchcraft rituals. Now it's January, so Yule has already passed. So we've already done things like the Yule log and things like that. So I'm not really talking about holiday traditions, even though you can still bring in greenery from outside because why do we bring in greenery? Greenery is to remind us that spring will come. So, most people do that, like I said, at Christmas, Yule, whatever you want to call it. But if you didn't do it then, you can still do it. You can still bring in things like bay leaves, rosemary, or evergreens or holly. And it is just to remind us that, hey, this will pass and the green will come again. And, it is a time to honoring the sun's rebirth because we've already passed the winter solstice. So now the days are getting longer. Each day we get another minute or so. So everyone enjoys that, thinking, okay, it's just weeks away before we can start thinking about seeds. But next couple of weeks, like several weeks, months, all right, about 2 months here in the South, at least. For our northern friends, you're thinking I'm stuck in the house for 4 months. But here, we still have a couple of months to go before we can think about what happens in the spring and what are some things we can do in the winter. It's a perfect time to do. Now, I like to do, people talk about spring cleaning. I like to do wintertime cleaning. So when spring gets here, the house is already clean, organized. So that's one thing we can do when we're in the house during the winter is begin to tidy things up. Now, if you're not a big cleaner, maybe you're an organizer. Maybe it's time to get your big collection of witchcraft books. I know you have them, and begin to sort them. Maybe sort them by topic or author or however you want to do it. I know I have all of mine separated by subject. So these books are about hoodoo. These are about witchcraft. These are about herbalism. So that may be a cool project. Of course, more people are reading when they're curled up in the wintertime. It'd be better to be able to know which books to reach for and to get to them quickly. It's also a good time for journaling. Journal about what your plans are for the new year. Maybe you've been keep planning like I do. It's like this year I'm going to put all these witchy herbs in the garden. And some of them, you have to special order. And the time comes and I always forget. We have some, but it would be a good time to actually say on this date, I'm going to order belladonna to put in the garden or whatever it is, or mugwort. I have grown mugwort and patchouli in the past, but you most of the time can't find that from a nursery. So yeah, let's journal about our spring planting plans, or what's something else we can do? It's always a time for divination. It's a perfect time to get the cards out, practice with other cards, um, different types of scrying. I'm trying to think of all things that happen inside the house. But it's also a good time for banishing rituals. Uh, think of things, ceremonies that like shed old habits. Maybe it's shedding old relationships or deciding to get negativity out, to just freeze it out. Some people do freezer spells at this time, but they do them outside. I don't like freezer spells in my freezer because I always say, I don't want a bunch of people's negativity in my freezer beside the food I'm going to eat. Many people disagree with that. But if it's wintertime, why not put some things outside? Do some freezer magic outside when it's cold. Put some things in ice, wrap some things in snow, some people you're wanting to freeze out. Just don't forget in the spring to do something with it before it thaws out. You don't want these people coming back. So, what are some, let's see, what are some herbs to use for this time of year? Pines and cedars. We're thinking of that. We talked about all the greenery, but it's also a time for things like cinnamon and cloves, things that are like allspice and ginger. It's the perfect time to get an old pot that you don't normally use, put in cinnamon sticks, slice up some oranges or maybe dried ones, and simmer them on the stove just for the smell in the house and also the moisture to put more moisture in the house during the dry winter months when you're not getting all this. Um, our skin feels drier in the winter, so you're actually putting out steam and making the house smell all warm and inviting. Um, so yeah, orange peel, cinnamon sticks, star anise. Yes, I like to say anise, not anise. Um, let's see what else. Snow magic. How about snow magic? Well, I talked about freezer spells, but people also can go out and write their intentions in the snow. You're actually making sigils in fresh snow to amplify a spell you've been doing inside. So you're bringing the outside inside, and vice versa. Maybe that'll actually increase the power of a spell. A lot of people create charms and talismans this time of year. I know I like to deal with my polymer clay, and people do work with like pine cones and acorns and all these things that like black salt. Maybe some people make black salt this time of year. They're doing all these things at the home in the counter to that are home and hearthy, if you know what I mean. You can make it's a perfect time to if you do baths, meaning you make baths for other people, like hex busting baths or spiritual baths, to gather all your ingredients together, your dried herbs, your salts, and begin to make big containers of them. So you'll have that when anyone wants it in spring. It's all this busy work at your workspace, your counter, your altar. Like I said, and why not begin? We talked about organizing your books. We talked about reading books, but have you been putting off writing a book? Winter is the perfect time to do that. They have something called God, I'm gonna go blank here. It's the novel writing. It's a it's not a contest. I've gone totally blank here. I'm gonna put it in the comments when I think of it. It happens in November. It's like National Novel Writing Month. NaNoWriMo. That's it. NaNoWriMo. And it happens in November, and it's like all these people are getting together to write a book within 30 days. I've never been able to successfully do that because we own a store. So it's the time for Thanksgiving to come. It's time for Christmas to come. We're doing in Yule, we're doing selling in the store. So I can't hunker down for 30 days in November to write a book. And I always wondered why they didn't move it to like January when everyone is in the cold, stuck in the house. So make your own version of that. It's like here, January starts. I'm going to take January and February and finally either write that book that I've been talking about or at least completely outline it. So, those are just some suggestions I have. They all deal with dealing with your hands, getting into ingredients, do your soap making this time of year, organize your herbs, organize your books, and you'll be ready when spring comes with all your witchy supplies already laid out, already all organized, everything ready to go for spring. And when late winter comes, that's when you can start planning that witchy garden you've always wanted. So I hope these tips have been helpful. This is G with Aroma G's Botanica. Please visit us online at aromags.com and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So this is Papa G. Till next time, bye bye.